First at 4, students in some of our school districts will return to the classroom next week.
And ahead of their return, law enforcement wants you to know that making a joke about violence online can lead to serious consequences. WSAV's Evan Smoke joins us from our Statesboro Bureau on the campus of Georgia Southern University to explain.
When posting online, freedom of speech only goes so far. Recently, a Candler County Sheriff's Office captain spoke to me about where that line is in the wake of a local arrest. Now recently, the Candler County Sheriff's Office did arrest 45-year-old Jason Timothy Bouillard on a charge of making terroristic threats for his post on social media. Captain Stanley Slater of the Candler County Sheriff's Office explained law enforcement was aware of Bouillard due to previous posts, but could not arrest him until he violated the law, something Slater wants to clear up for our viewers.
Terroristic threats laws is simply that the person has to threat or make a threat to commit any act of violence, release any hazardous substance, or burn or damage property. Outside of that, any other comment you make on Facebook or any other social media or email or anything like that is not considered terroristic threats.
Now, just because law enforcement can't arrest everyone who makes a questionable social media post does not mean investigators don't want to be made aware of them. They say if you run into a post that concerns you, to please report it to your local law enforcement agency for further investigation, or at least to be kept filed away in case that poster's behavior escalates in the future. Live from the Statesboro Bureau, Evan Smoke, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Evan, thank you. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation has released more details about the former chief investigator for the Ogeechee Judicial Circuit who was arrested yesterday. Andre Wright faces several charges, including felony violation of oath by a public officer, felony computer invasion of privacy, misdemeanor stalking, and misdemeanor misuse of license plate data. The Effingham County Sheriff's Office and the GBI were investigating Wright for allegations that he was accessing flock camera data for non-law enforcement purposes. Investigators say Wright accessed the flock system more than 60 times between June 15th and July 5th. He has been booked into the Bullitt County Jail.
Savannah Mayor Van Johnson is speaking about flock cameras today during his weekly press briefing. He says he believes the cameras will prove to be a useful tool for investigations, but that the data and the process must be transparent.
I think the flock cameras are an important investigative tool. People need to be safe, and the reality is that there are cameras everywhere. If you're in a public place, you don't have an expectation of privacy. We have to be absolutely transparent about it. We have to be transparent about who's using the technology, what's the transparency, what the data is being used for, and when there are issues where it's not being used consistent what its intended use, then we have to make sure that people are held accountable, criminally accountable for that.
Mayor Johnson highlighted Chatham County Police Department's new flock transparency portal as a commitment to safety and privacy.
In Wayne County, 4 teenagers have been charged in connection to a shooting back in May in Jessup. That sent 3 people to the hospital. 18-year-old Carlos Mackey Jr., 19-year-old Zachariah Merritt, 19-year-old Marquavian Rankin, and 17-year-old Cornelius Shaw Jr. have all been charged. Those charges stem from a shooting near MLK Park on May 24th, where a group had gathered for a reported fight. 3 men were shot during the incident and were taken to a hospital. They were later released. Jessup police say the investigation is still active and ongoing. Continuing coverage now, Effingham County residents mobilizing.
Don't outweigh their concerns.
I was angry at my elected officials for not being transparent enough to say, hey, this is something we're thinking about. Instead, I woke up to an email saying, guess what? it's a done deal and you can't say anything about it.
The Effingham County Democratic Committee hosted a no data center community meeting. More than a dozen people of all ages and political affiliations attended, saying this is a chance to work together and explore ways to stop the project.
There's no precedent for what that looks like growing up next to a data center this large. So we have no idea what the health implications are going to be, what the environmental implications are going to be.
Another concern with residents, the facility's proximity to two elementary schools, Blandford and Creekside.
So my daughter just started preschool last week, 2 miles down the road from where this proposed data center is supposed to be. So that was Monday. And then Wednesday we find out this data center is coming and there's no opportunity for us in the public to respond.
And that was Isabella Baez reporting. Effingham County residents, or citizens I should say, for change have scheduled another community meeting. It's happening Monday, August 3rd at 6 p.m.
One Chatham County school will have a new permanent location when their current lease runs out. WSAV's Isley Herschel spoke with leaders at the Tybee Island Maritime Academy to hear all about their recent purchase.
The Tybee Island Maritime Academy has called this building home for years, but soon it will be moving here to the old Thunderbolt Elementary School. Tybee Island Maritime Academy's executive director, Peter Ulrich, is looking forward to the future at the old Thunderbolt Elementary School. The school purchased this building in mid-July and will officially have a new spot to call home. The school has a maritime focus, and Ulrich says Thunderbolt will be a good location to continue that focus. Ulrich says without this purchase, the future of the academy was uncertain.
We've been looking for and evaluating some options. We're still working with the city of Tybee. There's the potential for us to maintain a presence here on Tybee Island. So now we have a lot of different options that our board gets to explore, but at the same time, we know that no matter what, after 2028, we get to continue to have school.
The building's original lease expires in 2028, but officials say they're not sure when they're going to be moving on to their new campus. In Thunderbolt, Isley Herschel, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Washington, D.C. paying tribute to longtime Senator Lindsey Graham today.
He died July 11th at the age of 71. Graham was one of President Donald Trump's closest allies in Congress. A service took place earlier today at the Capitol Rotunda. Graham's body was then taken to the Washington National Cathedral, where President Trump, among other U.S. and world leaders, gave tributes to the late senator. Next, Graham will be taken back to his home state of South Carolina for funeral services there. They will take place tomorrow. It starts with a final visit to the State House in Columbia in the morning. The Graham family invites the public to come and pay their respects along the procession route. Then a private family burial will take place that afternoon in Pickens County. We will have a live report from Washington about today's funeral service for Graham coming up at 4:20.
Now, Time Saver Traffic, sponsored by Arrowhead Clinic, the accident doctors, where it pays to get well.
Well, this afternoon we are watching some very slow-moving traffic along Highway 21 heading toward I-95, so northbound toward Effingham County, taking a bit of extra time this afternoon. No reports of any accidents. We can see that slow-moving traffic, the red on the map, as you drive toward Rincon. At least I-95 is flowing smoothly through the region, so if you're heading northbound and southbound across the region, looking pretty good overall. The Low Country, a lot of green on the traffic map, just some minor delays along Highway 80 at I-95, but Interstate 16 westbound looking pretty good right now. If you're going to be heading up to Hardeeville along US 17, I should say, taking 18 minutes from downtown Savannah, taking 29 minutes to get to the Bullitt County line.